Now, next week's edition of Free Speech Nation will actually come from the Battle of Ideas Festival in Westminster. And this event has been running since 2005. It has 2 days of debates and discussions with over 400 visiting speakers. And it has the motto, Free Speech Allowed. Baroness Claire Fox is the director of the Academy of Ideas, and she convenes the Battle of Ideas Festival. She joins me now. So, Claire, I love the Battle of Ideas, as you know. I come every year. I think it's a highlight of my year, frankly. Just this opportunity to have all these different people with different opinions thrashing it out in a way that's becoming quite unpopular, really.
Yeah, who'd have ever thought that free speech allowed would be a revolutionary slogan? I mean, you know, that's what's ended up being. But I think that we're in a situation now where talking about politics is something you have to do while you're watching the telly, unless, of course, you're in the audience of this show. And everybody just feels so frustrated. We're watching people make a mess of things. And our attitude is that we have a takeover of Westminster in which the public are the people who do the talking. So no disrespect to the 400 speakers, of which you are one of them. But actually, they're only there to prompt public conversations. And the issue that we're trying to do is recreate the public square.
Yes.
You know, a sense in which you can have arguments, discussions, you raise your ideas, you don't flounce off and say, I find that offensive when somebody says something you disagree with, you argue against them.
Yes, I love that about the festival. I've seen some of the most robust discussions because in each session you're constantly going out to the crowd to get their views, and I've seen people disagree with each other, but it's always, like you say, people don't have tantrums, they disagree profoundly, but they have those things out in the open, which is so much better. Yeah, and also there's lots of different themes. So, you know, there's strands of debates on science and medicine, on the economy, of course, on all the culture wars issues, education. The reason I'm saying that is because it's not siphoned off into, are you interested in this? The idea is you go to all these different events. I mean, it really is a bit like, somebody once described it as the Glastonbury of ideas. I mean, that's a bit overstating because Glastonbury's become so dull, whereas the Battle of Ideas isn't. But anyway, you get your armband and you can go, oh, I have to choose between 1 of 10, 12 debates, and you go along. And of course, with everything like this, it's not just the debates, it's the sense of camaraderie, not because you're in an echo chamber, but a sense of solidarity that everybody there is open-minded. Yeah.
Open-minded, disagreeing, but serious and committed, without being po-faced, to actually solving the problems that we face. And I mean, I'm in the House of Lords, I'm in Westminster every day, and I can safely tell you that I wouldn't trust what happens in the parliamentary estate to solve our problems. The people who will solve the problems that we face, and God knows they're serious, war in Europe, major economic problems, and not all just caused by the Tories, deep-rooted problems. Who's going to solve it? We are, the public. It's every single one of us have got to rise to the challenge. And that's, in a way, what the Battle of Ideas does. It's meant to kick-start a year's worth of saying, right, what are we going to do now? How are we going to solve these problems? And really dig deep beneath the headlines, beneath the spin and all the mottos. And, you know, you say, go for growth. What does that mean, right? How are we going to actually grow the economy? That needs to have a proper discussion. Yeah. And I trust the public more than I trust the politicians, even though I'm one of them, and even more reason why not to trust us, to solve those problems.
So just to give people an idea of how it works, it's a weekend. How many sessions are there per day that you can choose from?
I think at any one time there's 10 or 11 sessions going on. There's about 5 sessions per day, 5 or 6. So you can either buy a day's ticket or you can buy a weekend's ticket. And although it's a brilliant prize to win, and it's expensive and worth a lot of money, it's also cheap if you're buying a ticket. So I don't want people at home to not buy them. And we've got loads of special deals. But anyway, you come along and you literally look at the programme and think, I'm going to go to that, and you change your mind halfway through, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I should point out that it is incredible value for money, because it's, 100 quid for a weekend pass.
And that's without all the reductions for students, and school pupils, free for 1 day, students something like half price.
I think it's £27 for a student.
Yeah, so there's lots of great deals on offer. But it's not... I mean, God, nobody's got enough money.
Yeah.
If you're ever going to invest your money in anything, it has to be in our own capacity to change the world for the better.
Absolutely.
And this is a place to start.
And I couldn't agree more. I mean, I would really urge people to come to this, because it's such an enthralling event. It's fantastic. Are there any particular sessions this year that you're looking forward to participating in?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the opening keynote that I'm chairing, which is Do the Culture Wars Really Matter? And it's really interesting watching your show so far tonight, because, you know, people might say, well, I'm worried about my energy bills. Why would I be interested in all this trans stuff and all this, mermaids and your opening speech? But actually, your opening segment indicates to me that you cannot let these things just simmer under the surface and be ignored. So I'm looking forward to, because there's going to be a row at that, I can tell you, because there will be people who won't agree. A lot of the education debates, like, are our kids being indoctrinated? The issue around social contagion and trans, the issues around Ukraine, very important. Historically, what on earth has happened in relation to Russia? How have we got into this? Can we get out of it? So the geopolitical issues, I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm doing this show there next weekend as well. We're recording it actually on the Saturday, so if people want to come, but they should come to the whole weekend. But I've got James Dreyfus and Rosie Kay who are talking about their experience of cancel culture. And talking to Matt Ridley, and it'll be a really fantastic event, you know.
I'm glad that you say so, but I really want everyone to come along, because it's the atmosphere. I mean... A weekend of politics, at the moment, might sound like, oh, my God, I can't imagine anything worse. A weekend of us taking control of politics at the Battle of Ideas, at Church House in Westminster, whole different ball game. It'll inspire you, I hope.
Have you found that things have changed since you first set up the Battle of Ideas? Because, of course, you're going back to 2005, and I think there was a more sort of tolerance for the idea of open debate back then.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying, when we said free speech allowed, it was a kind of, that really wasn't, the main theme.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, we have found that more and more people are reluctant to debate. And we do work extremely hard to get lots of sides represented. Lots of environmentalists will be there. I'm not entirely enthusiastic about a lot of green orthodoxies. But to their credit, they're going to come along and have the debate out with people who think that net zero is a waste of time. But a lot of people won't come. I mean, cancel culture has made cowards of a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
I understand you don't want to lose your job and so on, but what that means is that there's a lot of people who say, I'd rather not be on a platform with that person or that person or that person. Luckily, there's enough people who are prepared to argue and aren't running away from those arguments. But you're right, things have changed. We've become more illiberal and more intolerant as a society. It scares the hell out of me, which is why Free Speech Nation and having GBNews involved in the Battle of Ideas is so important to me, because this programme, I don't know about anyone else at home, but I mean, I'd go mad without it. And I'm not just saying that to you, because actually you need to be able to know that issues that are being swept under the carpet, festering under the carpet, can be raised. So they can be raised here and at the Battle of Ideas.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I was looking through some of the speakers you've got, and I have to say, some of the people you've secured, I've invited onto this show and they won't come on. So I think you are a less toxic proposition, maybe. I don't know why that might be.
I don't know. The idea that, I mean, I am very toxic to a lot of people, but I think that there's still quite a lot of people who appreciate that a festival that actually does try to cover all angles.
It does, yeah.
And attracts an audience, by the way. It's not an echo chamber. I can't stress to you. I'm not interested in only talking to people who agree with me. And it's very important that we all have arguments out there. We don't dismiss our fellow citizens as being stupid or sheeple or, ignorant or whatever. I mean, they're just like you, mate. If they've got a different opinion, I want to win them over. And so I think we've got to keep that spirit of debate and not hide away or demonise people we don't agree with. And because we don't do that, I think that actually there's a very mixed set of opinions at the Battle of Ideas. The one thing that unites everyone, though, is that they recognise that they should take ideas seriously and debates and discussions and politics seriously. Because I don't want to be the victim of politics. I don't want to sit and watch it happening. I want to take control of the destiny of this country and what's happening. I mean, this is serious times, folks. War at the heart of Europe, the worst economic situation that we faced for decades. History, we're told, is all horrible and we're not to look at it anymore. It's been wiped out by some aspects of the culture wars. We've got to learn from history and we've got to take control of the present in order to shape the future.
Fantastic. Claire, can you just tell us and remind people, how can they find more information? How can they get tickets to the Battle of Ideas?
I've got to put my glasses on, everybody. That's very good. I'm getting old. Right, so it's... I'm going to leave leaflets for the live audience here, and it's battleofideas.org.uk. Go on there, you can see all of the details. And in case there's anyone who can't get to London next weekend, we've got a Battle of Ideas Day in Buxton on November the 5th as well, and you can come to both. So, yeah, get in touch. Hope you win the competition. To anyone who's watching, that Andrew's organised, but I also hope that people will buy their tickets. Tell your friends, get as many people there as possible, and I'll leave leaflets for you lot. So scatter around your friends and neighbours.
Claire Fox, thank you very much.
Thank you.